Hi everyone, so as you know, throughout the year I'm reviewing books and I'm doing book reviews every Monday on this channel, and this might be my 17th or 18th book, I'm not sure, and it's called It's Not You, Block, Delete, Move On. It's Not You, It's Them. And the person writing it is called Lala Let Me Explain. Obviously that's a pen name. I don't know what her proper name is. Well, this is going to be like a shorter book review, I think, because I didn't read the whole book. As you can see, it's a very thick book. The reason I didn't read it all, I'll be honest, is because it's written by a feminist, and there is majority of it, or when I first started reading, it just felt like it was man bashing. Now, the fact is, obviously it's called Block, Delete, Move On, and my feeling when I looked at the title, and also it's a very catchy and a very powerful graphics on the front. My thoughts were that I'm going to be reading a book about empowerment, about moving on after you've been in a relationship, just block, delete, move on, that sort of thing. The first few chapters I felt were just a feminist agenda. Now, I've got nothing against feminists, everyone's entitled to have beliefs and to hold those beliefs. However, what I found, and this is kind of something that came up as well during certain trials, which I'm not going to go into, but obviously the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard trial, people who have a fixed agenda or a fixed belief system, in my opinion, it's okay to express that belief strongly, whether it's about the environment, whether it's about gender, whether it's about race. It's very important that you hold that belief and you express it. However, if you want to get people to either understand things from your perspective, or you want people to understand how you feel and why you feel so strongly, or even if you want people on side, you need to be more objective at times, or you also need to explain your point, which is fine, but then to look into the other aspects. So with a book like this, which is about moving on from relationships, I felt for the first few chapters it was just bashing men. So examples were, there was a quote in here saying you'd be better off getting a dog or a cat than a man in some cases. There is a definite problem with men and the way they treat women. There's not a man alive who doesn't know that it's unsafe for women to do certain things because of men. It talks about British law failing women. It talks about misogyny. It says it's okay to be single. Now, that's fine. All of that is fine. But first of all, I didn't want to pick up a book where it is just preaching and giving statistics and facts from a feminist perspective. That's not why I bought the book. Some people might like that type of book, but for me, it put me off, because I'm thinking, okay, you're linking in lots of different things. You're just putting it, there's a few books that have done this where they stick to the title. Do you know what I mean? If you're talking about block, move, delete, move on, and it's all supposed to be about moving on after you've had a relationship, which is probably why most people bought it, then I don't need like a history of the law and misogyny and all the things that trash in men and that sort of thing. And I'm not saying men are perfect, it's not that thing. But me as a counsellor, obviously I'm not going to be biased towards just because I'm female as well. And that's the only reason, to me, feminism sometimes doesn't, the main focus is obviously on women and women's rights, which I appreciate and I understand. But in this book, I just think it came across a bit, not bitchy, but just like, why do you need to put that in there, sort of thing. Some of the chapters were interesting, because it says block, delete and move on from anyone who disturbs your peace. So it does talk about things to do with that. There are some really good chapters about attachment styles. There's also some chapters in here about, so some of the chapters include not all men, but way too many. So there's things in there about things that men do that they have a problem with. Another chapter is called Do the Work First, which is about working on yourself. 21st Century Romances, there's a chapter on. Obviously the main chapter, Block, Delete, Move On, which is the title of the book. Number 5, chapter 5 is he worth disturbing your pH for? There's stuff in there about sexual diseases. There's stuff in there about whether you should have sex or not. A quote from the book says, expect better, remember your value and who you are, and then elevate higher. Delete all traces of their numbers and all old conversations so you don't torture yourself. So there were some things that were informative, educational. It says blocking is not petty and it doesn't have to be spiteful. It is a symbolic act of protecting your space. There's a chapter on there about trusting your gut instincts. There's a list of charities at the back of the book. There's information about ghosting. There's information about orgasms, rough sex, legal stuff, red flags. Possibly there's so much different types of information in the book that maybe that's the thing that I think was not confusing, but just was hard to get into, because when a book is trying to be too many things at once and it strays away too far from the title at hand, or it's trying to just throw everything in based on, okay, this is all the knowledge I know, so I'll put law in there. These are all the things I know about sexually transmitted diseases, I'll throw that in there. This is all the things I know about misogyny and men's treatment of women, I'll throw that in there. Sometimes for me that then can mean the book is diluted because you don't actually get to the point. It's just loads of things thrown together. Everyone else has their own opinion. Because there were some really good chapters that I found interesting, I gave the book 7 out of 10. So it wasn't a low score. I didn't read it all, as I've said. Couldn't get into it as much. I would have got into it more, I think, if it stuck to the point more and if it was more catchy and more interesting. But everyone has their own style of writing, and I'm just here to review books based on what I feel and what I've read. So the book is called Block, Delete, Move On. It's not you, it's them. And the pen author is La Let Me Explain. Obviously that's not her name, but yeah, give it a go if you want to read it. Think about, the type of books you want to read and then make your own decision. I'm just here to give you reviews, to say what I think, and then to go from there. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy these types of videos. And also don't forget to leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.